Leo, I'm astonished by this story because from what I understand it, they're actually going to bring comedians in to sort of help guide. I mean, comedians are the most prone to depression, the most narcissistic, borderline sociopathic people in the world. I mean, this is like taking a cookery course from Hannibal Lecter, isn't it?
Yeah, and probably about as much fun. I mean, the one thing that worries me is whenever I see comedy courses advertised, they're never being taught by the best comedians. I mean, there's a couple. I think Jeff Innocent, who's an amazing comedian, runs a course, and Mike Gunn as well. But everybody else seems to be a shyster who hasn't made it in comedy and is looking for another source of income. So they teach comedy. I mean, I'm not sure who's teaching this course, so I'm not totally sure. But I mean, it seems we're always being told that the NHS is overstretched. There's not enough money for basic operations, so people are, we don't have enough beds for intensive care units, and people with coronavirus, their bodies are going to pile up in the streets. So why have they got spare money to spend on getting clowns to, teach people how to be a clown? That's not the core function of the NHS. I'm not entirely certain it's going to really help people deal with their trauma to have a circuit comedian come in and teach them how to write a joke.
No, I can't imagine how this would work at all. I actually, on that topic, I did used to teach a stand-up course, but I won't take it personally.
Well, they're proving my point perfectly.
I actually had to stop because a joke that I told online made one of the group feel unsafe. And so they said they weren't renewing my contract. That's not even a joke. That did happen. So, it's very difficult to teach stand-up these days. But and how is this going to potentially work with... I understand this idea of... there's been things like drama therapy, theatre therapy, all sorts of therapy for people who are in difficult situations. But I think just keep comedians out of the building. Am I wrong?
This is the thing that worries me about. So the Arts Council now recognise comedy as an art form, and I just feel it's the kiss of death for comedy, because once comedians have to become dependent on the government, dependent on basically the authorities, the apparatchiks in government, comedians have to become form fillers and tick the right boxes and explain how their comedy is of value. That's the opposite of what comedy should be. Comedy should be speaking truth to power. And comedy should be ridiculing power structures instead of being a part, instead of being enmeshed with these power structures. And also, as a taxpayer, I want to pay less tax. And I think one of the ways we do that is we don't waste tax on things like this. This isn't, we're not cutting tumours from people's brains here. It feels very frivolous. And I mean, maybe they can prove some sort of link, some sort of benefit, but I mean, I can't. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I can't see off the top of my head how it's got a genuine, recognizable, objective medical value. I mean, I guess as a comedian, I should be delighted that there's finally a sort of public sector trough of money that I can get my snout into, but I think comedy should be unmeshed from the hierarchy, from the authorities.
Yeah, but Leo, I mean, it might be counterproductive getting you in to teach comedy to patients, because you might say something like, I'm sorry, you're just fundamentally not funny and not good at this. And that kind of criticism might tip them over the edge, right?